I'd always been curious to know what made women tick. I always asked my friends about women, guys like me who seemed to be successful with women. Strangely enough, I was never satisfied with their answers. Something was always amiss. Now, I don't know if it was because I grew up among older women and saw how they and their friends behaved. I really don't know. But one thing was undeniable to me. Women were into a whole lot of things that men weren't interested in, and men were interested in a whole lot of things that women weren't interested in. Now, this is besides things both genders found equally interesting. I read a lot of books and transcripts from seminars on how to be the alpha male that women would find irresistible. I couldn't find myself able to go by everything I read there, but when I finally got around to reading the book Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus by John Gray, I found information that made a lot more sense to me. I decided to put the information I found there to the test, so I confronted random girls with what John Gray said about women. To my surprise, the women didn't disagree, and from the way they responded, it was like it was something they couldn't deny, even though they had never thought of it in the first place. This, with every other thing I personally understood about women, gave me a new understanding about the sexes. And this is it. There is absolutely no need for the genders to battle each other, as both genders have roles towards each other and also they complement each other. For a deeper understanding, I would like to make reference to Genesis chapter 1, verses 26 to 28. Then God said, "And now we will make human beings. They will be like us and resemble us. They will have power over the fish, the birds, and all animals, domestic and wild, large and small." So God created human beings, making them to be like himself. He created them, male and female, blessed them, and said, "Have many children so that your descendants will live all over the earth and bring it under their control. I am putting you in charge of the fish, the birds, and all the wild animals." From the above passage, it appears to me that God created us equally, male and female, and to be like him. He gave male and female the same blessing and authority over all creation. He also gave us the power to continue with the work of his creation, that we reproduce ourselves. This, I should mention, should dispel the talk of black women being God. Men and women are partakers in God's plan of creation, and clearly, the female gender wasn't created by God to be God, and for the man to be whatever you probably consider man is. From Genesis chapter 2, verses 18 to 24, one can say that God gave each gender their parts to play in order to be productive. And when they come together, they are one and no longer two separate entities. In my opinion, this is great power. Genesis chapter 2, verse 18 and 22 to 24. Then the Lord God said, "It is not good for the man to live alone. I will make him a suitable companion to help him." He formed a woman out of the rib and brought her to him. Then the man said, "At last, here is one of my own kind, bone taken from my bone and flesh from my flesh. Woman is her name, because she was taken out of man. That is why a man leaves his father and mother and is united with his wife, and they become one." I further detect that from the man and the woman coming together to become one, it is very important that the gap between both genders be bridged, and for both genders to love and appreciate one another truly and deeply, rather than fight with one another. For as one they have great power, but divided they fall apart and lose power. This passage states that the woman is a helper to the man, but after the fall, God made the man the ruler of his wife. Genesis chapter 3 verse 16. And he said to the woman, I will increase your trouble in pregnancy and your pain in giving birth. In spite of this, you will still have desire for your husband, yet you will be subject to him. So, while the initial text suggests male and female were created equally, it appears that Eve's disobedience caused the punishment upon the woman to bring about the inequality to the man. She disobeyed God's command and caused the man to do the same. Perhaps if she hadn't done that, God wouldn't have placed the man above her. On the other hand, if Adam overtook Eve and became the first to disobey God, would God have made the man subject to the woman? This is just a lingering thought I have that I don't have an answer to. Nevertheless, this created roles. The man, while being in charge, has the support of his woman. The man is the head of his wife. He must love his wife and take care of her. The woman should submit to her husband, should respect him and obey him. We already understand that two captains cannot run a ship. One has to take the lead while the other follows. There is a saying which we all know: behind every successful man is a good woman. This projects the power of a woman who embodies her role. The woman has no power if she begins to usurp the role of a man to interact with a man. She ceases to be a woman in his eyes and appears to him as neither a man nor a real woman. Her power diminishes before him. Also, a woman who is happy and glows while being married has a good man who genuinely loves her, takes care of her, and fulfills his role. This projects the power of a man who embodies his role. The man has no power if he begins to rather neglect his role to the woman by not taking care of her and expecting her to take care of him, to not love her and expect her to love him, and not give her all the support she needs to be able to be his helper. He ceases to be a man in her eyes. He is not even fit to be called a woman, for it would be an insult to womanhood. A man and a woman who play their roles create a strong, happy family with upright children. With this said, it is expected that men shouldn't expect women to behave like them or think like them. Also, the woman shouldn't expect men to behave like them or think like them. Here comes the issue of compatibility, understanding, maturity, knowledge, and wisdom. A clue to why one who isn't ready shouldn't go into marriage until he is knowledgeable about what his roles are as a man to a woman and the family, until he has a proper understanding of the details of that knowledge, and then the wisdom in living by the understanding from that knowledge, and the maturity that that wisdom will lead him into finding one who he's compatible with. The same with the woman. You don't need to fight with one who is yet to be ready, wasting time, energy, and focus, but rather build one another and not battle. Also, a man who understands the needs of a woman and fulfills them will be invaluable to that woman. A woman needs a husband who is willing to listen to her. In other words, is attentive without giving his own take on the matter. He just listens to what she has to say about how she's feeling that day. A woman needs a man who can show empathy, especially to her. A woman needs a man who will not embarrass her in public by not standing up for her or not having her back when she needs him to, or not stand up for her against a fellow woman she's having a dispute with, and so on. A woman needs a man who can take care of her, provide for her, support her, and love her. A woman needs a man who can take care of the family in good times and in hard times. A woman needs a man who is not increasing her burden by leaving all the household chores to her alone. And of course, a woman needs a man who can meet her sexual needs. A woman who can take the time to find out and understand the needs of a man and fulfills them will be invaluable to that man. A man needs a wife who can obey him and not be obviously seeking for ways to be defiant. A man needs a wife who can respect him both as a human and as a husband. In other words, she doesn't insult him either in private or in public. She doesn't talk down on him. She doesn't tell him that he's not a man. She doesn't talk bad about him to their children that they both have together or even separately. A man needs a wife that supports him with encouraging words, understanding and kind words, and in activities that need help being done. A man needs a wife that allows him to be in charge and in control, even at the times he clearly isn't. Now, this is one of those cases where the true power of a woman can be seen. If she can do this, it would help the man get back on his feet a lot faster. A man needs a wife that knows all he likes and needs that he wouldn't need to experience from another woman, such as cooking his favorite meals, among other things. A man needs a wife that can be empathic towards him and loving. And of course, a man needs a wife that can meet his sexual needs. These mentioned points are for married couples. I'm not saying this for people going along as boyfriends and girlfriends, though it will be effective if you are considering marriage. The man will be perceived as being or having real power by the woman, and the woman will be perceived as having real power by the man, irrespective of either gender identifying this feeling as power. A gender oppressing the other gender is not power at all. It is just oppression. Don't take my word at all for any of these things. You may come to your own conclusions, but I'm only giving you something to ponder on. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Also, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss the next upload. Don't forget to share the videos on other platforms and to your family and friends that may find the information helpful. God bless you.